Now, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says a turbine for the Nord Stream 1 pipeline that has been stuck in transit in Germany is now working. Standing next to the turbine at a factory in Germany, Scholz accused Russia of deliberately delaying its delivery.
What is important to me is to make it clear that this turbine can be used at any time and that it can be used. There is nothing to prevent its further transport to Russia, except the Russian buyers must state that they also want the turbine and provide the necessary information for customs transport to Russia.
The turbine from the key gas pipeline between Russia and Germany was shipped to Canada for scheduled maintenance. Russia then claimed that sanctions were preventing it from being returned and refitted into the pipeline. They said that gas supplies to Europe could not resume at full capacity without the turbine. European leaders accuse Moscow of blackmailing the continent over energy supplies. WION's Berlin correspondent Trent Murray has sent us this report with more details.
Well, it was a bit of an unusual press event in many ways, but this is an unusual situation that the German Chancellor finds himself in. He said he wanted to physically go there in person to see this turbine up close and prove that there was nothing wrong with it. And that is because we've had this kind of long-running energy dispute because this turbine is so critical to Germany's energy security. It effectively helps pump gas from Russia down into Germany. It was being serviced in Canada, but before it was sent back, the Canadian government stepped in and said, no, that would be a breach of our sanctions law given it is destined for Russia. That put Berlin in an awkward position. They then had to call Canada, asked for the rules to be bent, saying, look, we really need this turbine to get back to the Russians because if it doesn't, then we're going to have real energy problems later in the year when it's winter. And so that is kind of the backstory to all of this. But despite all of the trouble that the Germans and Canadians seemingly went to, the problem now is the turbine seems to be stranded here in Germany because Moscow won't take it back. Gazprom says it has paperwork problems. It won't allow it to import it correctly and it needs to go through all of that. The German government is just dismissing that, saying that's just more excuses designed to try and pile pressure onto Germany over its energy and more broadly over its support for Ukraine. And so that is why Chancellor Olaf Scholz, I think, very physically and visually wanted to be there at this event today to say, look, here is the turbine, it's working fine, it's ready to be exported. All that needs to happen is for the Russians to agree to accept it. Now, whether the Kremlin hears that call or not, we will have to wait and see. Gazprom is certainly still insisting today that there is paperwork problems with the import license that need to be resolved. Siemens Energy, the company that maintains this this turbine, I should say, they say that everything from their side of things is ready to go. So really, the ball, I think, now is in Russia's courts to decide if, number one, they want to take back this turbine, and then number two, whether they're willing to start increasing gas supplies again. It is worth noting gas only at a 20% capacity right now down that crucial Nord Stream 1 pipeline.